Welcome to NJCAA Hot Hoops from the Division One National Tournament in Casper, Wyoming, at the Ford Wyoming Center. Kenya Landers, Dan Olson.
So
We're,
good to be
we're
here
here
with
together
you,
for the
face to
first time,
face. Yeah.
and this is exciting times for us in the national semifinals. We've got two games, four outstanding teams, and hey, Hot Hoops edition right here.
I know, right? So, Dan, the 2 games today are gonna be so excited. The teams are gonna have so much energy. We were at shoot-arounds earlier today, and, I mean, everybody's bringing the juice. It's just it's so fun and so exciting. So, w like I said, watching these teams in shoot-around today and just seeing, like, they're clicking on all cylinders. They got so much energy, so much excitement. It's gonna be some good games today.
There are
Yeah.
four balanced teams. It's going to be exciting. This is what it's all about. Kenya, when we come back after this brief message, we're going to do our upload segment
Yeah.
like we do at other times during our season.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back after this message.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for two-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
We're back, NJCAA Hot Hoops, semifinal edition. The parity of these four teams, excuse me. Any one of them can win it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're battle tested. Some have had some extremely good games coming through their region and into the national tournament. Tough competitive games. Who has an edge? Northwest Florida State, I think, would have to have an edge.
Yeah.
Look, this is a team, Northwest, that lost in overtime last year for the finals.
Yeah.
Previous year won it. This could be their third straight if they win this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd have to say there's an edge to that. You've got Eastern Arizona. They were in the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
They're on opposite sides of they're in the same side of the bracket. So that's going to be a tough second game for the night. But boy, there's a little room for error for either one of those teams.
Yeah.
So, the other two teams, they've still had experience at the national level.
Yeah.
They haven't got as far as the Final Four, but Elite Eight level as well. Anyway, so that's kind of a wrap on those four teams coming into today's games.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Well, at this point in the tournament, right, you have, like you said earlier, they've been battle tested, they have fought. And so in my experiences of being here at the national tournament as a player and also as a coach, at this point in the tournament, I mean, it's about X's and O's, but at this point, everybody can tell you what their opponents do well, what their opponents don't do well. They can tell you how they go to the bathroom. I mean, they can tell you everything about the teams right now. But what is going to be key for these teams is who can stay in the moment, who can stay within their game plan, who can not let the environment, not let the moment be too big for them, and who can figure out just how to compete the way that they've competed thus far.
Look, as we've gone through our shows over the last 2 years, our emphasis has been on good guard play.
Absolutely. As the guards go, the game goes.
Exactly. So that emphasis on that good guard play. This first game today was Shelton. Shelton's got a dynamite back,
Yeah.
but Dodge can counteract that. This is going to be a tight one. So, but you got rebounding, limiting turnovers, good shot selection, which
Yeah.
is a huge piece, I think,
Yeah.
to winning versus losing. Those are going to be key factors going into the final game tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So, who steps up? who's a difference maker? Somebody's going to have to do that for each team,
Yeah, for sure.
you know?
For sure. Okay, so Dan, like we've been saying over and over, we have 4 legit teams here.
Yep.
And as everybody knows, you are the brains behind the operation here. So I want to go through. I want to hear like what are your thoughts on the 4 teams we have. Let's start with Shelton.
Shelton, wow, really improved from when they first started the year. As we mentioned during our telecast during the year, I mentioned to you that Three Rivers would play Shelton, they play Wabash, each other, and it was a building block for Madonna Thompson's team to get to where they are today. So I think that they've got a balanced group. Their guard play is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, their point guard, Michaela Hobdy's really impressed me so far during the tournament. Elena Abanaze,
Mhm.
a really good off guard that can play the one as well. But she's got a balanced attack.
Yeah, you know what I love about these guards is they are like the dynamic duo, right? Like they do such a good job of feeding off of each other, reading each other. Like it's at this point of the season, they can read each other's mind. It's like a look, I'm cutting back door, drop it for a layup. It's so fun to watch. Yeah.
Now inside for Shelton, Lamaria Thomas. She may only show she's 5'11", but she plays a lot bigger, got great hands, really is active around the basket. Julie Nikolna, sophomore, 6'3",
Yeah.
lefty center. Kind of attacks you from the high post, will battle, get the 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
You know, she's a tough matchup. We'll just leave her game on the floor type of a player. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, you know, as for Dodge, they got an Aussie connection, and it's a good.
Yes,
So,
they do.
Shorna Preston, 6'2" forward, kind of a do-it-all forward. Executes really well in a half-court game. Can knock down a 3 and stretch you out a little bit, but will battle you on the glass as well.
Yeah.
You know? Layla J. Cameron, another Aussie. Okay. Kind of that wing player that can play in and out,
Yeah.
bury the 3, handle the ball up the floor. Kind of a versatile defender.
That's tough to guard too. Tough to guard. Yeah.
And look, if you're looking for a super athlete, now this is the one out of all 4 teams. Doreen Mossou from France comes off the bench at Dodge. And I mean, she's got a chiseled body frame, a freaky athletic, quick leaper, really pounds the glass.
Yeah.
Not necessarily an offensive wizard, but she gets her points where she can get them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, remember when we started out a few weeks back, we started bantering back and forth.
Yeah, we did.
Who's going to win this thing?
Yeah.
Who's got a chance? And I mean, pick Northwest Florida State.
You did.
I think my dark horse would have been Shelton State. So
Yeah.
they're still in the running.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. What
Yeah.
about you? What do you think?
For our first game today, I'm just gonna have to go with Shelton. I mean, they were so locked in and shoot around today. Just the organization of their preparation today was second to none. They really, really focused on locking in defensively. They focused on making the right reads offensively, and they did it over and over and over today until they got it right. And so that's what you want to do. You want to leave a shooter. They're very, very well coached, and you want to leave a shooter around knowing that everything that you got to do tonight, you've already did it today. So that's going to be my pick for game 1.
They're locked in.
They're locked in, ready to
They're
go.
locked in if you're here.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So talk about our game 2 opponents.
Game 2. This is going to be a good.
This is going to be a great one.
Eastern Arizona, no stranger to this environment.
Mm-hmm.
Finished in the Final Four last year. They're led by, I would consider probably the best low block player in the country, Ashlyn Charleston. She's effective around the basket. Either hand can step out, make free throws. Provides you a defensive presence in the paint. That's huge. Their other kind of a surprise player that I knew of early on, but has really blossomed into a nice player. Stephanie Goncalves, 5'11" guard, athletic, knocks down the three, can play either three of the guard positions on the floor. I mean, she could even defend a four.
Yeah.
She's dynamic as a player, one of the best freshmen in the country in junior college.
Yeah.
I think that, you got a few other pieces. You got a little fire plug point guard, E. Daggins.
Yeah. She just
Five-
runs the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5'4" in size, but she's a powerhouse
Mhm.
and won't back down. Get on you and defend
That's
you.
right.
Kind of mess everything up for
Mhm.
you, if that's what you want as a disruptor, right?
That's right.
But she's really developing that chemistry, I think, on the floor along with these other players. Um, they've got two good wings. They've got some pieces that
Yeah.
can really, do well during the game here today coming up.
Yeah.
So the other team, no stranger at all, like we've said,
Mhm.
Northwest Florida State. Nevaeh Scott, their point guard, really impressive.
Yeah.
2 nights ago in the Elite Eight, she won the game. If it wasn't for her being on the floor, knocking down shots, running the show, I mean, Northwest wouldn't be here today.
Sure.
Jade Ondenemi, 6'3" center, sophomore,
Yeah.
Was impressive the other night too. Made some key rebounds, made some shots, carried Coach Bart Walker's team when they needed it.
Yeah.
But then they've got athletes, they've got size, they've got Kayla McBride hitting threes, they got Deborah Davenport in and out,
Yeah.
active on the glass. And they've got game experience at the high level. And they feel like they were cut short last year.
Yeah.
So they may
Yeah.
have, like their t-shirts today said unfinished business on, and
That's
shoot
right.
around. So
That's right.
I think that may be one of those things in their mind that they're going to say to themselves, look, we should be running our third in a row, not have a blemish in the middle.
Yes. Yeah.
So
So I'm assuming that that's your pick for game 2 today.
that's my pick for game 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my pick as well. Just all of the experience. I mean, you're starting five sophomores that, like you said, are battle tested. They've been here.
Yep.
They got a chip on their shoulder. They know what to expect. So I know it's going to be 2 fantastic semifinal games here in Casper, Wyoming. And so Dan and I will be here on the sidelines today, checking out the great games that are happening. And then after each game, we'll get a chance to visit with the winning coach that will be competing for a national championship tomorrow. So we'll be back for you. And Kenya and Dan here with JUCO High Hoops from Casper, Wyoming.